What's up, everyone out there in YouTube? This is my Cowboys family. Dad, the main guy here, and I'm going to go through some Cowboy updates for fans out there. What's up, Husky Gaming, and what's up, Wolf Rider? You guys came in here. Great timing, perfect timing. Fiance will be joining me shortly, and we're going to go through some Cowboy information. Let me just make sure that everything is rolling properly here with the audio. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. What's up, Fishing with Corey? With Corey Daniels. Guys, I'm so happy about our win last night. We're going to talk about a lot about that. Let's see here, guys. There we go. All right, good job. Guys, hit like. I appreciate what you do. Hit subscribe if you're new. We got a lot of subscribers yesterday, about 60 of them or so. We're a fast-growing channel, guys. We appreciate all you guys. Great questions by a lot of the fans in here, especially someone like Assad, and good points that you make throughout the season. So we appreciate that, guys. Lance Davis, what's up? Yes, a great win. We're going to discuss that in a minute. I want to get you guys caught up with everything first, all the updates, and I'm going to tell you about them right now. Here, let me see. Cowboys abroad. What's up? What's up? And Steve, how you doing? Thanks for all you guys for hanging last night. Thanks for you guys modding. Those who did last night, we appreciate it greatly. It's a big help. We're trying to keep it family friendly. So thanks, Wolf Rider, Cowboys abroad. I know Rack City and Mike. Wright, Mr. Wright was also on there, a couple other people. Thank you guys a million times over. So guys, Cowboys won last night 28-17 over the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona on Monday Night Football, national television. There's a big deal with the anthem, of course. If you guys have been following, you guys know that already. The Cowboys is actually Jerry Jones, in his business mind, he decided to please both sides of the issue, I guess you can say, by taking a knee in I guess more of a kind of like a silent protest with, you know, pro-unity, pro-equality kind of deal. Hey, and look who's here. Fiance making an appearance.
What is up, YouTube? How are you guys doing today? So, no, baby, I heard you talking about the whole Jerry Jones knee thing.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to go over it. I'm not really going to talk much about it. I just wanted to just say that let me center ourselves. Are we centered good? There we go. Okay. I want to center properly here. But no, I wanted to just make sure, kind of go over what happened. I mean, it's not really about politics and about talking about who's right and wrong. As you guys know, I'm a big First Amendment guy, constitutionalist. So I think the players have the rights to do and say what they want. But
I agree.
you know, within the limit, whatever that free speech limit is. But besides the point, I'm losing track here. Yeah, I already checked. So, guys, of course, President Donald Trump made a comment on Friday about the NFL that if anybody who doesn't stand up for the anthem should be fired. The Cowboys decided with Jerry Jones and the players' input, and they kind of came together with an idea. They all took a knee. Some did it in prayer, some did it in remembrance, some did it in, you know, in whatever thoughts or whatever they had for the situations, so the ills of society right now, things that are going bad. As far as everybody, whatever, it's basically their own personal thought, but mainly it was about the Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, that part of it, I believe. And then the second part, if you guys do know, they didn't take a knee for the anthem, which is, a lot of people did like that. And again, I thought it was very classy of Jerry Jones to do it this way. But he stood up for the anthem, and all the players locked arms, as they did the day before on Sunday after Trump's comments. And this was more, I think this was more a protest against Trump. You understand? So about his comments. And I think that's what the Cowboys did well. They protested the comments during the pledge, in my opinion. And they protested, you know, not protested, but they got to kind of sit with unity and equality, which is what the team is about. This is what the Cowboys team is built upon, guys. And so I do think that they did a great job doing it. We know it's Jerry Jones making money, and that's why he does it. But, you know, all this hoopla about this, a lot of people leaving the teams. We actually had one of our fans that dropped off the channel, and only because, not because of us, but because of the NFL and the fact that they are allowing this platform for the players. And again, everybody has your right. You guys have the rights to choose as well what you guys want to do. If you guys want to watch any more games or stay with the NFL, you know, there's different reasons why you do different things, and that's the great thing about America. That's what the flag stands for. That's what the anthem stands for. It's to protest when need be, and you know, and again, you know, everybody has the right. Nobody's forcing you guys or anybody else to not watch football or to watch football. So, you know, your choice.
All right, guys. Yeah. So I think we've pretty much talked that topic to death. So I just want to take a second to say hi to everybody who's here. So Wolf Rider, Husky Gaming, Fisher with Corey, Assad Lalani, Lance, Cowboys Abroad, Steve Scoggins. Let me see, Boomer Sooner, T, what's up? So how you guys doing? Thanks for joining us today. So yes.
No, and the whole thing with the knee, that's it with the knee. But I wanted to just make a comparison to something because the thing is that after Trump said that, and he kind of implying a lot of people are going to boycott the NFL, not watch their games, and that's the other side of the coin. You know, of course, the NFL is going to lose some money in this, and they're going to gain some new fans. In the end, though, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, it's a whole different thing, and that's why when you look at this at the viewer ratings from last night, I mean, the Cowboys at Arizona game had almost 14 million people, guys, watching on TV. So, yeah, some games might not be too popular. Maybe some matchups aren't that great right now. But when it's the Cowboys, it's always a top sell. And no matter what you put on TV, it doesn't even matter. I mean, Cowboys will probably – Cowboys and whoever is going to probably be up top. But also, you know, a lot of these games have also been – you know, I mean, the game yesterday was close. It was good throughout – you know, three and a half quarters, and but again, guys, it was 13.7 basically, almost 13.7 million people watched the game. So obviously, it's not losing any kind of like major ratings, especially when the Cowboys are involved. Of course, it'll take a dip. I'm pretty sure it already has taken a dip, the ratings. But I think that's where it's, you know, it's going to eventually level out and then go back up a little bit. I do think after this whole thing blows over. And people are just going to get used to it. That's what's going to happen.
No, and I can't really say that all of the ratings loss is really due to this one thing because, and we already know that between streaming services and just a lot of other general reasons, the NFL has slowly been losing a little bit of viewership, but they'll be just fine. So, Manuel, what up, fam? How do you feel about this? I just saw some people burning NFL memorabilia of their own team. So, guys, look.
Let's say what you think about that.
We kind of talked about this already. You know, and
I think they're stupid. That's my opinion.
Look, if you want to take hundreds of dollars of your own money and burn it, knock yourself out.
Listen, that's their right, but you asked what I think. I think that's stupid. That's my opinion.
So look, and again, you don't have to agree with the reason that players are protesting or taking a knee. You don't have to like it. You don't, you know, and you are more than welcome to share your own thoughts and feelings about that. But, you know, they still have the right to do it, and that's just the way I see it. So, you know.
Well, I saw somebody talking about DeMarcus Lawrence. It says here, let me see, Cowboys Abroad said that DeMarcus Lawrence is limping last night. And we saw that, too, towards the end of the game. He actually came off the field. I think it was just a minor issue.
General soreness. He got off the field for about one play, and then
he
came back in the next play right
it's just a rotational thing, but obviously if you're limping around, you know, they check you out, probably just a bruise or something. But the point is, he came back, and guys, since you brought up DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, what a freaking start to the season he's had. I'm going to just go through some stuff, guys. First off, the Cowboys as a team had 6 sacks last night. I think they had 4. What's up, LL? How you doing? Ice H2O, how you doing? South to Heaven, 88. We had a lively discussion on his channel the other night. But, yeah, listen, guys, 6 sacks Monday night for the Dallas Cowboy defense. I mean, that's fantastic on a team that that was our probably second biggest concern behind cornerback. But if you have a rush, and you guys saw this last night, I talked to my brother today. We'll talk about the game in a minute. But when the rush is put on, a quarterback, especially somebody who like Carson Palmer, who if you give him time will pick you apart. It makes it irrelevant. You can every cornerback in the NFL can cover for basically about 3 seconds, and you know and so if we have that pressure in there within 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, and the quarterback has to scramble, that's it. That's where we get there. Most of the time, it's going to be a problem. So you saw it last night, but I wanted to say 6 sacks, guys. The first time since September 22nd, 2013, which is when they played against the St. Louis Rams, which the Rams are our opponent from LA now. This weekend, so get ready for that one. But yes, that was the last time. It was 2013, guys, against the Rams. They had 6 sacks in the game. I wanted to say something else about the sacks and DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, he's the 3rd player in NFL history with 3 consecutive games with more than 1 sack to start the season. So he had to have at least 2 sacks in every, or 1.5 sacks in every game. He's gotten 3 and 3 and another sack and a half, I think, or a half a sack. I mean, he's gotten, I think, the first game he had 2.5.
Because he had 3, and then they called back half of it.
Right, and then he had another 1.5 in the next game, and then he had 3 yesterday. So, or I don't know, whatever it is, guys, it adds up.
He has 6.5 sacks so far for the season.
No, 6. I think it's 6.
Is it 6? I thought.
Oh, 6.5. You're right.
Yeah, so 6.5 sacks for the season, which again, absolutely incredible considering that total. This team right now has 11 sacks, and I think last year we had 33, 36. So we're almost a third of the way there. And we're only on week 3, guys.
We're not even a quarter way through the season.
Yeah, so it's a really great to see defensively that it looks like at least our numbers are definitely showing how the front line is stepping up and how we're getting more pressure.
Yeah, and by doing more pressure, the defense has improved highly. If you see the way we punted last night, guys, and the way we placed the punts inside the 10 often, a lot of Cowboy jerseys in the stadium, which helped as well. All these things, and my brother discussed this as well, that is why the Cowboys ended up in the end pushing through for the win. It was close, but if you recall, we had great field position a couple of times because we pinned the Cardinals at 3 and outs on their own 10 or 15-yard line or 4-yard line after a sack. If I remember, they were punting out of the end zone. Those are huge things by our punter, pinning them deep. And Chris Jones, he's the special teams MVP of the season, I think, because Bailey's field goals have been great, but he's consistent. He should make them. I think he hit one tough one, a 50-something yarder. Aside from that, 56 last week. Outside from that, I mean, Chris Jones is the MVP, guys, on the special teams, in my opinion. So I wanted to mention that about DeMarcus Lawrence, guys. The only other two guys in history to have more than one sack in the first 3 games to start a season, Mark Gastineau in 1984 with the New York Jets, and you old schoolers know about him, and Kevin Green from I'm pretty sure St. Louis Rams, but he was on multiple teams. That was in 1998. So, guys, just the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence is in this group of guys, he's in the history of the NFL, only 3 guys. It's crazy. If he gets another 1.5 sacks or more in the next game, I wonder where that puts him in the in history books. He also became the first Dallas Cowboys player to have 3 consecutive multi-sack games since DeMarcus Ware did it. And DeMarcus Ware did it at the end of the season of 2011, and then starting the next season, he added the first 2. So it was, 2011, 2012, but he did it in the 3 consecutive games. First player since then to do that.
All right, so I just want to take a second to say hi, Cowboys legend. Thanks for joining us, LL. And just to answer a few of your questions, I see you guys asking there. So, again, as far as fans from every team burning their jerseys, you want to take your money and put it into a bonfire, that's your call. So, and Cowboys Abroad, I'm glad that this time frame works for you. It is a little later than our normal time frame, but, every once in a while we will have some of these later streams, some earlier streams on the weekdays. So, since Jordan Lewis is balling, is this the end for Nolan Carroll? Cowboys legend says he hopes so. Let me see. And Boomer Sooner, thanks for joining us. Definitely enjoy bedtime, enjoy school tomorrow. We'll definitely catch you tomorrow night with our stream as well. So, and then I don't know if that means the end for Nolan Carroll, guys. Jordan Lewis
had a great game.
No, absolutely not. Not knocking on his skills. I agree with you. He balled out, but we still need people until we have a somewhat better replacement for Carroll. I don't really see him going anywhere just because we need actual bodies. So as soon as he's healthy, hopefully we can toss him back out there.
I'll say some other updates here real quick. If you don't, I want to make sure we go into these updates, because if not, then we won't be able to talk to you guys as much. You guys throwing a lot of questions out there that actually we're going to be talking about right now. So. Stick with the defense. Let's stay with the defense. First off, I just want to jump to Jalen Smith real quick, guys. I think he had a pretty good game. Not a fantastic game, but he had a good game, especially, considering everything about him. The fact that he's basically a rookie. He's coming back from that huge surgery, the rehab for 2 years, basically. But anyways, I digress. He actually was playing defensive end towards the end of the game, guys. I think I'm hearing that that's something to look forward to happening more often, that Jalen Smith's going to be playing a lot of defensive end position, especially last night, guys. If you remember, they played the Deacon defense with 3 down linemen, and then the linebacker, who was Justin Durant most of the time, 52. He would take 2 steps, 3 steps back, cover the middle zone, and then go after the quarterback. He did this last year against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Watch that game if you want. You'll see 52 doing the same play every time. He did the same thing last night against Carson Palmer, and he's going to do it again in 2 weeks when the Packers come to Dallas, guys. So I do like Justin Durant in that position, and I think that's when they had Jalen Smith playing a defensive end rusher. So I have to recheck that. Of course, the DeMarcus Lawrence guys, as we said, fantastic. I mean, 6 sacks, as we said, but I mean, Jason Garrett said a lot of the pressure from DeMarcus Lawrence came because of the inside pressure. Some came from Stephen Paya from the run stop. He did very well there, but more with Malik Collins, guys. He has 2.5 sacks this year. He's doing fantastic, I think, as well. And he's really boxing up the inside, especially in the pass rush. To have a defensive tackle that can do pass rush well, he's finally coming through. I think last year he had 5 sacks. He already has 2.5. He's already halfway there, and we're not even a quarter through the season. So,
all right, guys, quick commercial break for Fiance. I'll be right back in just a minute.
Yes, I can control this now. I'm just joking. So So, guys, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Let me just double check something before we jump on the offensive side of things, because there's definitely some stuff there, some stats and some information to pass along with that. Yeah, so, of course, guys, injuries, all right? That's what we want to talk about, too, get that out of the way and kind of get updated on that. According to Jason Garrett and the Dallas Cowboys, it looks like last night 2 guys got injured. I know Orlando Scandrick got injured. He cramped up. He came back later in the game. He was fine. But Jordan Lewis actually cramped up, guys, and he had a hamstring issue. We hope it's not the same one that he had before. So Jordan Lewis, all this talk about him, we got to pump the brakes a little bit because he's still having hamstring issues. And he's still just a second game of the NFL. He looked fantastic, though, guys. He wrapped up when he tackled. He definitely contained on the run, on the quick passes. He was out there when it was zone. He did fantastic, especially considering all the situations with him. The fact that he's a second game ever in his career as a rookie. He had to be thrown into the fire last week, and he's doing fantastic, guys. So, he's a fantastic surprise. We never really expected this from him. We just didn't know what to expect because we hadn't seen him the whole entire preseason. So we finally got to see him week 2, and he looked okay. He got an interception, but he looked like a rookie. This week he's definitely improved a lot, leaps and bounds, I think, from last week. But you can see it coming from last week against Denver. You can see it, the improvement beginning. So I love to see what's happening with him, and I'm just really happy to see Jordan Lewis doing well. Hopefully the hamstring thing is just a minor thing. Jason Garrett did say that today he did seem to be okay. And the other guy who got a hamstring injury, guys, Sean Lee. Now, you got to remember, he cramped up in the game. He also left the game. I'm pretty sure Sean Lee was the one that's cramped, not Scandrick. I know Scandrick got an injury, came back in. But, Sean Lee cramped up. It was a hamstring issue. He got out of the game. I'm not sure if he came back anymore. It was towards the end. But they did say, again, Jason Garrett did say that both Sean Lee and Jordan Lewis, even though they had hamstring issues last night, and again, Jordan Lewis could not finish the game. Even though that occurred, today they were much better, guys. It was an off day for them. We do have a short week because we get the Rams on Sunday. And at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central, et cetera, as you go back into the time zones. But yes, so that's an important information about our defense. We need to keep tabs on. And then, as Cowboys Abroad did say, what about Nolan Carroll? He's going to be coming back hopefully from concussion protocol. I never thought he was going to be a starter. I don't think you take Jordan Lewis into the starting lineup yet, but I think you give Nolan Carroll a couple more chances to, and I say chances, in one game. If he starts to get beaten every time like he did against Denver, you take him out. But I think you give him another chance, see what he can do. You throw in Jordan Lewis there in the slot. If we get Awuzie back, guys, that's going to be huge for our cornerbacks, guys, because he's just another talent, a rookie talent. It's going to go in there, and he's had more time in the starting lineup and played more time out there in the field throughout exhibition and through the all 3 games or 2 games because he didn't play this last one. So actually, him and Lewis have about the same time out there. It's important to get Chidobe Awuzie out there too, guys. Cheeto's got to get out there. He's versatile. He can do a lot of things. So you got Anthony Brown. You got Scandrick. You throw in Nolan Carroll with that crew, and then you throw in there Jordan Lewis with the rookie and as a rookie, and Chidobe Awuzie as a rookie, and then you got your 5 guys. You got Benny Benwickery, who I think we're going to cut him because last night we were using Xavier Woods as our kind of our 4th cornerback, I guess you could say, and then Benny Benwickery was our 5th corner, even though Xavier is really a safety. So, Kevon Frazier is playing a lot as well. Jeff Heath got injured. He was back in the game though, so that was good. We don't want anybody injured, but I just don't like Jeff Heath out there. He's not the best player in my opinion. As I've made clear many times, he's got a lot more to show us in my opinion. But yeah, guys, I do think that Jordan Lewis and all you guys out there, I love Jordan Lewis out there. He looked great, and I think just as he did great tackling. He just didn't finish the game, and it's a hamstring issue. Same thing with Sean Lee. They looked good today, though. Jumping over to the offense, guys, just a quick thing with Zeke. He had 80 yards. He had 88 before that last play when he lost 8 yards. Hey, what's up, Beyonce? But yeah, but guys, listen. Ezekiel Elliott, I think he had 22 rushes last night for 80 yards, or 23 rushes for 80 yards. The Cowboys are 12-2. They've won 12 and lost 2 when Ezekiel Elliott gets at least 20 rushing attempts. And that's the key, guys. Number one, we can't get down in the game by 20 points because then we got to pass. And that means Zeke won't get his touches. And also, we got to establish the run. Even if it doesn't work in the beginning, they got us locked down a couple times. We got to continue busting the run and keep trying. And once we keep doing that, guys, we establish the running game as the game wore on. And I spoke with this with my brother. he did agree that first of all, the left side of the Cardinals offensive line were the backups, but that's not where we dominated from. We dominated from the right side. And that's their starter. My brother agreed. Even though this guy was half-heartedly kind of came back for this season, he is a bona fide starter. And DeMarcus Lawrence just annihilated him last night, guys. He looked like Von Miller out there, the way Von Miller looked against us in Denver last week. So, again, guys, I mean, it's really a big thing to say that when on our offensive line, and what we did is continuously pound the rock, run the ball. Eventually, Zeke will break one. And once he breaks one, guys, look what happened. I mean, he got a 30-yarder or a 20-yarder. He ended up with 80 yards total. I mean, he got a couple catches out the backfield. And, I think he did great. And just to finish up my stats and stuff, Dak Prescott, guys, I do think, and again, I spoke with my brother about this, I think he said that that's the person. That's why the Cardinals lost last night. When you look at the offensive side for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, he said that they could not contain him when he got outside. That run option play, where he faked it and he got the touchdown, jumped over the player and flipped into the end zone. I mean, he said that that was a blown play by the linebacker, but he said it's a great play by Dak. The touchdown to Bryce Butler when he got out of contain and threw it into the end zone, another great play by Dak, and the same thing that happened, that long pass to Bryce Butler when he was touched, and he similar situation. My brother said the contain was blew it when they needed it the most, and the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, guys, just a stat here for you guys. He's played in 20 NFL games. Okay? That's including last night's game and including the playoff game against Green Bay. His passer rating has been over 100. I think 150 something is the most you can get, but over 100 is pretty damn good for any quarterback. He's got over 113 out of those 20 games. So that's unbelievable, guys. That's fantastic, and I loved the way he did yesterday. Is exactly what you need to do for the Cowboys to win. You don't need to put 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. He got 2 in the air, one running, and he had 150-something yards. Nothing big, but he didn't have that many incompletions. He only threw it 19 times, and we ran the ball. And that's it. We can do that with most teams and win. Go ahead, baby.
No, all right, guys. Let's go ahead and catch up a little bit with our chat. I'm not sure when the last time was that you checked in here. So
I didn't actually. I'm sorry, guys. We do talk to you guys, I promise, and we're going to do it right now. So we're going to next 15, 20 minutes talking with you guys. But I wanted to get all the information out there. And yeah, some people watch the live stream later, they want to get the news as well. So I want to make sure I put that out there in the front of the live stream. So thank you. Sorry about that.
All right, guys. So let's see. So the first thing is Manuel Corona-Awuzie going to be out for the season with the torn hamstring. So as far as the hamstring injuries, guys, Awuzie and Sean Lee both left Awuzie had a hamstring injury already. Jordan Lewis and Sean Lee left the field yesterday with hamstring injuries. It looks like Jordan Lewis is just dealing with some hamstring tightness. Right? It's lingering pain from lingering issues with that hamstring that he was having issues with, obviously, in the preseason. So hopefully some just rest and relaxation. We'll have him ready to go. And then Sean Lee, same thing. We haven't really heard any major updates on him. Yeah, they're just saying it's cramping tightness.
Both of them today were walking around doing good. Mm-hmm. So they're good. But Awuzie, no update yet, and Nolan Carroll, no update yet. And of course, Hitchens is not going to play this week. So we know that Hitchens is out, and we know that, of course, who else is going to be out? Well, I mean, we know Hitchens is the only one that's really going to be out right now, as far as we know, guys. Awuzie and Nolan Carroll, we're waiting on them. So out of the injured players, there's only 5 injured players. Sean Lee he looked fine today. So did Jordan Lewis. Hitchens is out for at least another week or two. And, of course, he did David Irving back next week off suspension. But aside from that, guys, we have 2 guys hanging. We're not even sure what's going on with them. It's going to be Awuzie and it's going to be Nolan Carroll. So we got to see what happens in the next couple of days with them. Tomorrow they start practice, and we'll know a lot more by tomorrow.
Yeah, so, and then Jonathan German, obviously, I am here, so it is proof that you can find yourself a partner who is just as passionate about the Cowboys as you are, or if not, you can do what my fiance did, which is just, slowly mold me into a Cowboys. If
they're not football fans from the beginning, then there's a chance.
Yes. So you're saying there's a chance? Yes. So let's go ahead. Let me see. So someone's going to get cut when David Irving comes back. Yes, guys. So I think Benny. Yeah, probably Ben Wickery, you think?
I mean the way that our it depends on the injuries, guys. Obviously, if we lose Awuzie for the whole season with his hamstring issue and they put him on IR, then I see us keeping Ben Wickery, and I don't know who we cut at that point. I'll have to look it over a little bit more. Of course, I'd love to say Kellen Moore, but we're not going to do that. If we kept him now, we're going to without being obviously a reason. I mean, we keep making an active. No, yeah, that's okay though. I understand why they're doing him, but I'm saying some other guys like Jonathan Cooper's always on, inactive. So is McFadden. Okay, so keep that in mind. And so is Tapper was inactive last game. Sometimes you got to read into that a little bit. When you see these inactives, you wonder, if they're always inactive, are they doing it because they don't need him for this game, like a Cooper Rush? Because they only would need Cooper Rush for like the next week, if something happened to Dak, which it hopefully won't ever happen to Dak. But if something was to happen, that's why you have someone like him or someone like McFadden, where it's more just in case something happened to Zeke. You see, that's why they're keeping him inactive. But Cooper is one of those guys where you're keeping him inactive because he can play swing, he can play guard and tackle. My brother talked about that today. He goes, he's not that good when he was with the Cardinals. He was a high first-round pick, but he's a bust. But again, for the Cowboys, he's been okay. And I remember in training camp and in preseason games, he looked pretty good. But he has the versatility. That's why he's inactive. But right now, we have no injuries with Chaz Green. That's why he's on that list. But someone like Ben Wickery, who was not inactive but will be probably inactive, someone like Tapper, who was put on that list, I hope not. Tapper has a sack. He has a lot of potential, I think. So I think Ben Wickery will be the one that's gone, in my opinion.
All right. And then, let me see. Cowboys abroad. Carroll sucks. Better off without him. AF 1892. Y'all's channels really helped me. Native Texan here, living in Green Bay, Packer hell. Love your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So, and I know.
2 weeks, baby.
Yeah. So that snow must be killer. But you know what? We are Cowboys fans all over the world, everywhere. We are taking over. So Rack City, thanks for popping in and saying hi. We'll definitely catch you next time. Thanks for at least coming by and modding and saying hi. So. Let's see. I like the defensive adjustment. Yep. No, let me see. I haven't got.
No, I'm just saying. I'm reading them up.
I haven't gotten there. So let me see. Cowboys abroad. I like the defensive adjustment to the dime package. If they lose to the Rams, that'll be embarrassing as hell. Our defense was on the field 85% of the game. No wonder our players are cramping. Yeah, Orlando Scandrick also was off the field with the cramp. Came back later.
And Heath
so,
as well.
That's right. Heath with that chest. Yeah. So finally a noon game. A 1 o'clock game, yeah. So, and then with the torn hamstring, how long will he be out? So, Manuel, I'm guessing you're talking about either Awuzie.
But has it
been nothing
confirmed?
has been confirmed that it's a torn hamstring. So, as of now, and again, it looked like he might have been able to maybe play on this Monday game. So, as long as he continues to stay healthy, we might be able to see him again for this Rams game. But we'll definitely have more of an update for you guys tomorrow, though.
I'm going to answer a Cowboys abroad question real quick.
All right, well, we're a lot more behind.
Oh, we're behind? I'm
sorry. I know, because we're behind. So, let's see. Let's see. Please tell Zeke to stop running up the middle. There's not adequate blockage. So, I was saying this in the game yesterday that I wasn't really sure where the breakdown was and why our plays weren't successful. And then you pointed out, baby, that a lot of our guys were missing blocks. Jason Witten was missing a lot of blocks. So when people are missing their blocks, Zeke doesn't have the hole to get through. And
it happened last week as well. But also it happened because the Cardinals put 8 in the box. They're watching their whole. That's why they fell for that play with Zeke and Dak took it in for a touchdown run because they were so hyper focused on Zeke, and that's how you stop the Cowboys. Make Dak beat you, and Dak beat you last night. My brother and I spoke today. He couldn't be on here, Dr. G. But we love you, even though you're a Cardinal fan. He is my biological brother, guys, and he is part of my family. Not part of my Cowboys family, but part of my family. And you check Friday's stream. He said it to me today when we were talking real quick in between his patients. That he said that he hit it right on the nose for the first 3.5 quarters or 3 quarters when it came to what he was saying about how you stop the Cardinals and how Cardinals stop the Cowboys. And again, he was surprised that there was nothing underneath by the Cowboys too much and not too much use of Witten, which was one of the things that we were talking about. That would be one of the major things underneath where the Cardinals are weak. But he did say that the fact that the Cowboys established Ezekiel Elliott early in the game and so often, even though it wasn't working in the beginning, that's why that touchdown worked right before the halftime when Dak did the play action run. I mean, not the play action run, but it was the run option, and he pulled it out at the last second. And Golston, number 44, attacked Zeke, tackled him, knocked him down, and Dak was ready. If you look at the video, if you look at the replay, Dak was literally 7 yards on the field, and the Cardinals were still tackling Zeke, and Zeke's just looking at Dak running into the end zone as he's jumping. So there's only 3 Cardinals that picked up on that, and out of those 3 Cardinals, 2 of those 3 were getting blocked, and 1 was running from behind. So it was just a fantastic play, and that's what happens when you establish the run. When you abandon the run, you can't do that play. That play, Golson, then instead of he stops for a second and then hits Dak for a 2-yard loss or a 2-yard gain. Either way, it's not that play. And that's why it's important to continue banging that rock with feeding Zeke. God almighty. Yeah. I wish I was just coaching yelling in their ear, just saying, run, run.
I wish. And Mr. Wright, thanks for joining us. Let me see. Lawrence is about to earn the franchise tag. I don't think he can do anything aside from setting the sack record to get a new contract. And Larray Elliott, Jordan Lewis is going to be a problem. Ancient Brooks, Lewis was a beast last night. Kurt McKevley, what's up, family? Let's start kicking butt. Absolutely, guys. So here, I'm just going to fly through a lot of these questions, and we're just going to bang through them one by one, guys.
You do the first one, I'll do the next one. Go ahead.
Here you go. Cowboys abroad. Who loses defensive rotations to put Irving in?
I wanted to answer that one.
And who on the line do you take out? No, actually, I'll let you answer both of those.
Okay, well, as far as losing rotation, who loses defensive rotations? Well, again, guys, remember, Brian Price. He's the guy that's playing as the backup defensive lineman, defensive nose guard, tackle, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, he's behind Paya, and he's behind Malik Collins. Now, Malik Collins, they take him out at certain stages of the game. Same thing with Stephen Paya. I mean, towards the end of the game, I don't see Stephen Paya as much. And I think that's where you see Brian Price. So I think you're going to see Irving playing at those times for when Paya's out. I don't think he loses snaps. I think who loses snaps is Brian Price, who is the one that's taken out of the game. I think, he's another guy you might see if the Cowboys can still use Tyrone Crawford in a rotational situation in the defensive line. They have 4 guys in the defensive line, the 2 starters and the 2 backups. I think we haven't. I don't know if we would keep Brian Price and I'm just trying to think if we would because we have Tapper back in. Brian Price is the odd man out in my opinion in that situation. And if we used Tyrone Crawford as the backup, let's say, and if it's or rotate him in as a defensive lineman for, let's say, Malik Collins, and let's say we could also put Taco there too on the line. So we have a lot of versatile players that we can use. So it's not really about who loses time. It's more, yes, I think Brian Price is the odd man out, but I think that and Tapper is also inactive. So those 2 guys I'd say lose the most in this whole scheme. But I think everybody, all the starters and all the other guys, kind of keep their rotation. I think Irvin is put in as the game goes on. I think he's put in more, and it's a certain down and distance situation. I think you see Irving all the time in there when he's needed. He's going to be a beast this year.
Absolutely.
We're still 2 weeks away from him, and I can't wait. I mean, I'm even thinking about it. It's awesome.
He looked great in preseason, so I'm really excited to see him back out on the field and, causing havoc.
Yeah, and another guy I was disappointed with, a little bit disappointed with, was the Montre Moore. I thought he'd have more of an impact, but when you were he was getting double teamed because that side had a bunch of backups, so he couldn't really get in as easily. DeMarcus Lawrence was tearing it up, so he really had all the attention to DeMarcus Lawrence, and DeMontre Moore came like half a yard away from getting a sack. So I predicted a sack for him. I was a half a yard short. Wrong about that. But anyways, I do think he'll get better as the season goes on. And you can see there's a rotation still going. Mayo was in there. Taco Charlton was in there. Tyrone Crawford was in there, guys. And these are, all these guys start or don't start. Not Taco, but all the other guys I named could start. And then Irvin's going to come back in there, guys. It's going to be, and we're doing already so great. 11 sacks this year in 3 games. We had 36 last year in 16. So when we get Irving back and we get Hitchens back, linebacker, and we need him for the run stop as well, guys. Oh man, I'm getting excited.
Very exciting.
So
so let's see. DJ Crown J, does Zeke look slow to you? I wouldn't say that Zeke looks slow. I think our whole offense has just looked off and slow until, again, the second half of that Cardinals game. And even the first half, even though it was 14-14, it just, I feel like for whatever reason, I did not see the 2016 Dallas Cowboys offense. I didn't see that same level of playing I think that we're used to until then. So not sure if it's necessary that Zeke is slow, but honestly, with some of the personal things that he's been dealing with and the fact that he did miss some training camp,
issues,
we don't know how much that affects him or goes into it, but as long as he continues to look better each time that we see him out there, and gets back to performing the way he used to, it's all good.
What's up, Kirk? How you doing, man? Nice to see you out there, Kirk. And T, I want to say something real quick. Great point that T Tobias makes. Rams are resting for 10 days, which we already said they were.
Yeah, and the Packers will as well because
Correct.
They play on Thursday and we play them next week.
So both teams are going to get shots at us with extra days, but they're going to have to come to Dallas, guys.
So, which thankfully makes obviously helps us, makes a big difference, makes them travel.
Even though we play better on the road, I do think that this season the Cowboys need this home crowd, guys. So anybody living in Dallas better go to this game and cheer loud.
Yes, guys. All right,
This
so
game and the Packers game.
in Cowboys Abroad, is Jordan Lewis good
Every
enough
game.
to secure the starting spot?
Yes, he is, but not right now.
Yeah, he, again, super blown away by the fact that this is his second game, second time playing in the NFL, didn't get that much
27,
practice
so
in
good.
training camp, and he played fantastically. But he's still a rookie. And, we're going to be facing, again, a very tough schedule coming up into this. So, are we going to use the crap out of him? Absolutely. And he needs to step up, and we're putting a lot on him, but I'm not 100% sure if he's ready to be the starter right now. But he's definitely working towards that goal and being very successful to securing that spot somewhat in the near future, if not this season, for sure next season, if he keeps playing like this.
I agree for 100%. And actually, who it reminds me of? A kind of situation like I had last year. This time it just happened a little earlier. It reminds me of Anthony Brown from last year. And I'm not saying he's better than Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown was what, week 5 or 6 that we really started?
Yeah, we started losing Claiborne. We lost a couple other. I mean, we lost. What was the other guy? Carr wasn't gone, but we lost Claiborne.
Wilcox.
And we lost. No, well, no. Another guy that was. Who was the other guy that was hurt, guys, last year? Jeez, I can't believe I remember his name.
Oh no, Church. It was Church. He broke his arm.
Oh, was he? Okay.
But,
so,
well,
I know Claiborne was one. Of course, we know Brandon Carr is not that good, but when it was when Claiborne was gone, because they're different positions. Church is safety. So
yeah, I know. So then
yeah, when Claiborne, he was also safety. But I'm saying when I think in the Green Bay game is when Morris Claiborne got hurt. It was an abdomen injury or something like that, and that's when he was gone. That's when Anthony Brown had to step up into that role of starter, and he was a rookie, a 6th round pick or 7th round pick, 6th round pick, crazy man. And he really played. He took a couple games, but he's really started playing great. Jordan Lewis, he's a higher pick. There's higher aspirations for him. You can see he's naturally a better player, especially at covering man coverage. And at least this game, the Cowboys didn't play for the most part. Second half, especially, they made some adjustments. Played a lot more close man coverage more often. And then they had that Deacon.
Yeah, it was Wilcox.
So yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
But that wasn't Wilcox got hurt. But that Claiborne was replaced. Guys, and I'm going to correct them too, that Claiborne is the one that was replaced by Anthony Brown. They're playing corner. Wilcox is a backup safety behind Church. And I think they both got hurt the same game, Church and Wilcox. That's a whole different subject. I'm talking about the cornerbacks, and that is that when Claiborne got hurt last year, that's who Anthony Brown had to step up and start. So now this year you have Nolan Carroll, you have Skandrick, and you have also Anthony Brown. Those are the 3 veterans, okay? And again, I don't know if you can leave Nolan. I would say put Nolan Carroll in there, let's say first down or something like that, on run play. And then you could take him out. And you could put in someone like Jordan Lewis. But think about this, guys. Those are 3 guys I just mentioned. Those are technically the 3 starters. And, guys, we also almost always, the Cowboys run a nickel or a deacon defense, which automatically puts three cornerbacks on the field. So you're looking at, no matter what, you're going to see Skandrick out there. And if Carroll starts, you're going to see him out there. And in certain situations, you're going to see Anthony Brown out there for sure. These are our 3 starters. But then you look at the next guys on the list, and really it's Awuzie next, and Jordan Lewis is our 5th guy. So, I mean, we have time to use these guys, but you will see them in certain packages, in dime packages. You're going to see Awuzie and Jordan Lewis. You might see Nolan Carroll out on a dime package. You're going to see them, you might see Nolan Carroll on first down. I'm just going to switch things around. So, it's not bad news that we're getting these guys already some real playing time right now, and they're looking good, kind of like what Anthony Brown did last year after a couple of games. Jordan Lewis did it after a half a game. So after last week halfway, he was already kind of in things, and he was doing some really good things. This week he just improved more on that, and I couldn't say more about Jordan Lewis other than his upside is fantastic. Just no more damn hamstring injuries, guys. So, I mean, I think the linebackers played well last night. I think that, the defensive line was the reason our defense held Carson Palmer and the Cardinal offense down. The defensive line, of all people, the defensive line and the run stop and the pressure we added on there, mainly the pressure from DeMarcus Lawrence and our defensive line, that's why we really solidified that game and held on to that game, even with 28 points on offense. It could have been a lot closer.
So, and just to move on, because Manuel, I like the point that you're making. I do want to touch on that. He says, do you agree with the talking heads about Dez being on the decline, or are we just not using him right? I'm sorry, I haven't seen him create separation like he used to a couple years ago. So I was really excited for Dez. I was all aboard Team Dez. We saw him coming into this preseason, the healthiest he's ever been. Mentally, I don't think he's ever been, as focused and dedicated as he is right now. But I don't know if it's the offense in general or if it's just the same from Dez that we've kind of been seeing. But I think the last real flashes of amazing greatness he had were in 2014, and I don't think we've seen that same greatness from him since then. No, so, and obviously, you know, he was injured a lot during that 1 year or whatever, but I do, you know, I'm starting to think I'm one of those people that not necessarily he's on the decline, but he's definitely plateaued. I
guess it's more of, I guess I would say this. Right now we played 3 tough defenses. Guys, think about the people covering Dez Bryant so far. I mean, I told you guys he would not get that many plays. I think he got 2 catches two catches yesterday. I mean, either way, I just knew that he would be shut down by Patrick Peterson. And before that, we played Aqib Talib. He got shut down by him. And even though he got a touchdown yesterday. But he got shut down for the most part. He was taken out of the game. Week 1, who was on them? Was it Landon Collins or Janoris Jenkins? Eli Apple. My point is that that's 3 good names right there, guys. What I'm trying to say is, I know one's a safety, so before you jump on me, I know Collins is a safety. But look, what I'm trying to say is that all these guys, he's played top-notch defensive cornerbacks for 3 straight weeks so far to start the season. It's going to get easier for him, but I do think that he is the guy that every team tries to stop first. When you try to stop Dak, you want to add pressure, but if you can't get through the line, you got to shut down his main receiver, which is Dez Bryant. So I think a lot of things go into this equation. I don't think he's really an elite receiver, someone like Antonio Brown, who gets open even if you have Patrick Peterson on him.
Or even someone like Odell
Beckham same Jr. thing. Odell and Julio Jones. Those guys will change games. Dez Bryant does not change a game. But Dez Bryant is maybe right under a hair of elite receiver, and that's why they do bottle him up and try to lock him down every game. So the Rams, I'm not really sure who their coverage guys are, but they're not as good as what we faced the last 3 weeks. So look for Dez to have a bigger game this week, I think, guys. This week, I think Dez has a bigger game this week.
I really hope so.
And against the Packers, too, in Dallas. So watch that for the next 2 weeks. Watch Dez have – I think people start changing their view. The talking heads will start to be, oh, no, Dez is the best. You know, it's always this stuff, guys. You got to really look at what he's done. And it's funny to me that these ESPN guys and these NFL Network guys, they can't see that the Cowboys played the 3 toughest defensive cover guys in the league, basically, that were locked onto Dez. So – I'm not worried about it at all. But Dez is not an elite receiver as well, guys. You can't look at him as Antonio Brown or as Odell. He's Dez Bryant. He's like what's his name, Demarius Thomas from Denver. That kind of receiver, big, physical, possession type receiver. He's not a Julio Jones who could change the game. Okay, he can help change the game, but he's not going to change that on his own. And the Cowboy offense isn't built that way. That's the other thing too.
No, I agree, but it sounds like a lot of the chat is saying that, you know, since we're paying him $20 million, you know, we're paying him like an elite receiver. Right. You know, he should be able to perform that way against some of these top guys, and he shouldn't have to continuously have the excuse, oh, we're facing these top elite guys, that he's always getting shut down. That's a good point. When lesser teams and lesser receivers are able to make plays on these guys occasionally.
No, that's the thing is I would say no. I would say the ones that do make the plays on these guys are the Antonio Browns, the OBJs. Sometimes get the play, get the better of these guys we just mentioned, these 3 guys we just mentioned that covered Dez the last 3 weeks. I do agree, though. The price tag attached to Dez now becomes a business decision. Is it worth it to keep Dez? Can we move Terrence Williams and Bryce Butler in there and have those 2 guys as a starting 2 with Beasley and Switzer, you know, and Noah Brown eventually? That is a good future question. Right now, I wouldn't really worry too much about it. Dez Bryant has the big enough name that even if he's injured, like last season, you still can get some good use out of him as a decoy. So he gets 2 or 3 catches a game. Who gives a damn? We win, and that's what Dez cares about, and that's why he's a true Cowboy. And I have no problem with him plateauing at like 2 or 3 catches a game if we win every game. And I guarantee you, ask Dez Bryant what he'll tell you. No, same thing.
Look, and I'm all about, you know, winning games and just having players contribute to the team overall.
Price tag, though.
But if we're talking specifically about how Dez contributes to the overall or the final numbers or to the stats, yeah, then I do think Dez needs to step it up. But I also would rather see Dez not get it as much if it means Dak isn't trying to constantly force it his way. Because every time I see Dak trying to force it to Dez, it puts fear in my heart. I mean, we saw that interception and it sucked against Denver. I don't want to see that continuously happen just because we want to make plays with Dez.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And again, everybody's saying great points here. T, Scoggins, you know, all you guys are saying that, you know, that I understand that you're saying that for the price tag, it is too much for Dez. But we cannot help the situation that we have when it comes to the way our offense is built. And again, exactly what Cowboys Abroad said, that if Dez being out there frees up T. Will, Beasley, Bryce Butler, eventually Ryan Switzer, eventually Noah Brown. And again, when Noah Brown becomes a little bit better and maybe Dez starts to go down a little bit, maybe that's when you pull the trigger on a trade. I don't know, guys. We're talking about the future, though. This season, hell no. Listen, it's what's done is done. You got to eat the money there, you know. And the best thing is for them to make the best out of it. And if that means he gets 2 catches a game and the Cowboys win every game in the Super Bowl this year, I guarantee you, Dez Bryant will say, "I'll take 2 catches a game. Throw me a touchdown on one of them every couple of games, but I want to win." And that's what he wants. He wants a Super Bowl, guys. And that's the kind of guy we want on our team. He's not worth $17 million, but that is the price tag right now, and he should be playing better. But it's hard when they all gang up on you and stop you. Antonio Brown is a different kind of receiver than Dez Bryant. But yes, the price tag is a little much for the production when it comes to stats and the numbers. When it comes to what he does on the field, could be worth it, guys. I'm just letting you know. He could be, and it's not over yet, guys. The season is just fresh. 3 weeks against 3 tough defenses. Let's see how he does against the Rams defense with their cornerbacks, who are still good, and they have a good defense. Their front line is fantastic. So it's going to be tough. We're going to talk more about them throughout this week. But look at the next week against the Packers, who don't have great cover guys. And I guarantee you guys, I mean, they have Clinton Dix or something like that, whatever. But other than him, they have really nobody's going to be able to. Even he can't stop Dez. So that's my point, guys. We'll see how Dez does the next 2 weeks, and then you get back to me when we get into the break, and again, then after the break, after the bye week, we get San Francisco, who he will burn as well, I think. Now, they will still try to stop him. They might double him. If they double team him, guys, there's only so much he can do. He can try to outmaneuver them and outpower them, but like you said, I don't want to have to be choked up in my heart every time Dez forces it into Dak. I mean, Dak forces it into Dez in double, triple coverage. So let him take 2-3 guys out of the play. Throw it underneath to Beasley or Witten or T. Will or Bryce or whoever. Yeah, Zeke out the backfield. I mean,
Switzer,
Zeke,
exactly. We
got 18 other guys.
Exactly. So, but Manuel, I think your comment, exactly. So I'm sorry with, I don't want a $17 million decoy. So, yeah. So that
good point.
That pretty much wraps it up. Exactly. So no. I mean, just kind of sums it up. The tweet where, yes. So if you guys don't know about the Beasley tweet, and I'm guessing you're talking about the one where a player, I guess a fan tweets to him saying, "Oh, Beasley ruined my fantasy football. I'm 0-3 now because he only got 4 yards." And he's like, "What the?" Basically something like, "What the f do you want me to do? I can't catch. I can't catch what isn't thrown to me." And then someone tried to say to him like, "Oh, is he throwing shade at Dak? Is he insinuating that Dak needs to throw him the ball more?" And and Beasley replied very classy, "No, Dak's, that's my QB. I got my dog's back. It's."
It seemed more like Beasley was another guy that the Cardinals targeted, because they knew they would try to go underneath, and that's where the Cardinals' weakness is. And anybody knows football. And again, these guys, the Cowboys, the staff, the coaches, the scouts, they all know what the deal is. The people will watch the film, so they know the weakness. The Cardinals know their weakness, so they wanted to make sure the Cowboys were going to probably use Witten and underneath routes and slants to Dez Bryant at times, but mainly to like someone like Beasley. They didn't want him to be the guy. So he only got 1 catch. I have him on one of my fantasy teams. Trust me, guys. I know. So, I still won, thankfully. So I'm not as upset, but I can understand that. But at the same time, guys, I don't give a damn about fantasy when it's the Dallas Cowboys. And if we win, then that's good enough for me, honestly. So.
All right. No, I'm just back to the questions, guys, here. So Steve Scoggins, I think Taco needs to get cut and go work at Taco Bell.
He did some good things,
though. Yeah, I think don't give up on Taco just yet, guys. Let's give him a lot of time to develop there. Let me see. And now we're kind of all caught up onto the whole Dez stuff now. So, and let me see. He ain't open. We win by using all of our collectively. I'll live with Dez numbers in exchange for great ball distribution.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and that's kind of the point. We're not the type of team that we need our Dez to get the ball 20 times for us to be successful. We have a lot of other weapons. We can spread it out a little more. Where we're not as much of a one-dimensional team, sort of like the Giants, where they rely so much on their passing game. If their receivers don't get open, they're basically done. So
yeah, I will say, Mr.
Yeah, and near Giants for life, I know you said that we're going to sweep the Giants this year. I really want that to be true, But it's never over till it's over. Divisional,
Long way to go,
divisional games
for sure.
are always very tough, so you can never count those out right away.
I definitely want to say Mr. Wright. I see what he's saying, but Dez doesn't get the volume targets. At most, he gets 9 in a game. He got 2 last game, and they were both not quality targets. I mean, he got 2 against the.
Well, one technically was for a touchdown. So
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure about
same thing.
quality.
And same thing last game too against the Denver Broncos. I mean, he did get a quality pass to him. There was a touchdown, nice backside pass by Dak to Dez for the touchdown against the Broncos.
Yeah, and I know we're forgetting a whole bunch, at least a handful of attempts into the end zone. At least 2 or 3 that I remember in the Denver game.
Well,
that we.
But that's the thing, guys. I want to say this though. Here's the thing about the Dak to Dez situation, and I do think that the Cowboys are trying to show, and then when they force it in there, it's a force. When Dak has forced it to Dez, and he has, and I'm not talking about the interception in the last play against Denver. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about all the other forces to Dez, whether against the Giants, whether against Denver, or even the Cardinals. I don't think he had many. But my point is that I think the Cowboys are trying to, not for Dez's reasoning, but more for the coverage's reasoning, to force the ball to Dez and say, hey, we're not going to just ignore Dez. Don't think because you got the best guy on him or because you guys are double teaming, we're not going to go to him. So that's why they still, they always got to keep them honest. So I think that's why you still got to target Dez. But it's one thing is to target him and save targets. Another thing is to force it into an interception. And so I think Dak has done pretty well with that so far. The interception with Dez, both of them last week. One wasn't Dak's fault. I mean, one was just Bryant dropped it. Dez Bryant just dropped it, and it cost us points. And then the one in the end zone, which cost us points too, which is the game was over. But that one was a bad pass by Dak, a bad route by Dez, and just a disastrous ending to that play. But again, guys, I like you guys are. I see here Taco, whatever. Listen, Taco is still young, guys. He's a rookie, and he's not playing full time. He's not a starter. And again, on our defense, there's no real starter. But you see him in there. He's playing towards the end of the game more than Stephen Paya is, more than Benson Mayowa is. But you'll see Lawrence in there. You see Taco playing a lot towards the end of the game. I'm watching. Guys, we posted on our Twitter page, on our Facebook page. Law Nation's breakdown. It's a 35-minute film. You just watch it, guys. It's basically the entire game, play after play after play. It's fantastic to watch it. Yeah, you see them all. You see how the game kind of transpired. And if you missed it, definitely watch it. But, that's a great video to kind of get a good look of how the things progress throughout the game, how our defense looks. Look at the players out there, guys. Look who's out there. Look at the linebackers. Look at the formation that we're running on defense. We ran a DK defense. It's a 3-4 with one of the 4 linebackers being, 3 front linemen. So we got like a nose guard, a nose tackle, and then 2 defensive ends like a DeMarcus Lawrence with Justin Durant as our blitzing linebacker who initially takes 2 or 3 steps back to cover the zone for about 3 seconds, then attacks the quarterback through one of the seams, through one of the holes in the line. So that worked great, and it had Carson Palmer. It worked great, not because of Justin Durant, although he did a good job. It worked great because the way that those 3 guys destroyed the pocket, and DeMarcus Lawrence, mainly what he did, opened up stuff. Also, Malik Collins pushing the pocket in on those rushes in the middle. I mean, these guys, they made the defense look like a top defense last night, and I'm very proud of that defense. I'm not going to count the chickens before they hatch, but I definitely think that we have an upside to our defense, and that's with missing David Irving. That's with 2 of our cornerbacks injured, basically 2 starters injured, guys.
The way that I see it
and it's Hitchens gone too.
I always am thinking about this year because right now matters, but I'm also thinking about the future as well.
And this season
this season in the future. So not just long term later on in the season, but definitely for next year as well. I think that the Cowboys are really taking the time to try and build the defense and really put in key pieces in there. We've had a lot of guys, kind of step up. So, I'm really confident that as the season goes on, as long as we can stay healthy and we can make the kinds of adjustments we need to, I actually have a lot more confidence in our defense going into this season now. Having seen them at their lowest, and having seen our offense at its lowest as well. I will say I have a little bit more confidence now because I think that now that we know how to handle a loss and experience that type of loss, I just don't see us exactly. I don't see that happening again in that way. I'm saying like that kind of complete just destruction that we saw. Yeah. But really just the fact that we were able to kind of come together as a team and we're starting to see things click on both sides of the ball. And I mean, guys, our defense was out there, for a majority of that game, and they were able to pull it off somehow. Despite all these things that we had against us, they still managed to pull it off. So
and mainly, where it started with, exactly, hat tip and major it all happened. It started and ended with DeMarcus Lawrence and the pressure he put on Carson Palmer, specifically him. Obviously, the entire front line, I think they deserve kudos, and including Taco. He was involved in some pressure. Benson Mayowa. Tapper wasn't active, but Tyrone Crawford, DeMontre Moore, who played his first game, got almost, it was half of a yard away from a sack. And then you got, Malik Collins inside. You got Stephen Paya inside. You even got Brent Price helping out inside. Again, when you get Irving back, you probably see Price go. I think we keep Tapper, we keep Taco, we keep that whole rotation. Guys, we just keep working them in, and I think you'll see Taco with a couple sacks this year. I said it from the beginning. People are saying we got to get 6 or 8 from him. No, guys, we're not. He's a rotational player. Taco will get 3 or 4 sacks at most this season, in my opinion. I didn't think we'd get 6.5 out of DeMarcus Lawrence, guys. And like someone else said here, though. Someone else said here, like Mr. Wright says, Taco's not DeMarcus Lawrence, and amazing that I'm saying that because again, guys, DeMarcus Lawrence, who thought that he would after years of being basically hampered by injuries and not playing to his potential, all of a sudden he just has a breakout year. Everyone's surprised by that. It's not just me. And again, even though everyone says, yeah, great. Everyone says that about Tapper. Everyone says that about Malik Collins. It finally happened for DeMarcus Lawrence, and it's happening slowly for Malik Collins. And Tapper has a sack too, guys. Don't forget. So he just happened to be inactive this week. We'll see what happens with that. But I think the guy that goes when we get David Irving back is going to probably be Brent Price because it's a similar position area, and Irving's going to be playing there obviously a lot more. So that could probably need him. It also depends on a lot of things on injury situations because we could let go of someone like Ben Wickery if all 5 of our corners are solid to go, and we have Xavier Woods, who's playing basically our 6th corner if needed.
So, all right, guys. Now, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up around here. But, Manuel, I definitely want to touch on what you said. So, what about Switzer, guys, as our kick punt returner as well as our gadget guy in certain situations? No big plays from him yet. Man, I want him to do good. He's done decent. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we haven't seen him that much, but he's definitely starting to get a little bit more work. He did have the chance to return some punts a little bit more.
Looked good too.
He looked great doing it, and only thing that I was really disappointed about was that dumb flag when we had Switzer out there and we saw he was going to get the ball. We're not sure what that play was going to end up being. Obviously, we had to do something else. We did see him get the ball.
On
the same side, got a 3-yard run. But the fact that, he still got accolades, the fact that we're working him in there, he'll slowly but surely become, that kind of guy we toss in there occasionally. But,
like a Sproles. I can see him like a Sproles kind of guy as a receiver, though.
So he came in at the perfect time. You saw him come in, gave Zeke a break. If one of the major things that the Cowboys need to keep doing to successfully continue to win is run the ball and really wear down a defense, having another guy in there that you can throw in there, someone like him who's, I'm just saying, someone he changes it up because, again, he's quick, he's fast, he's kind of wily, and just having a back there, you're not sure what you're going to have him do, too, because
he reminds me of like a Tariq Hill kind of style player, because Tariq Hill's a receiver, but he plays a lot of running plays, a lot of running style plays. But, guys, I wouldn't get too hung up on Switzer doing too much yet. He is a lot smaller. He's a tiny little guy, frail.
No, but I do think that he will have one touchdown.
How? Wait,
for punt return.
I know. And again, guys,
at least one this season.
I agree 100% with you. I think he'll have more than one.
No, I'm saying just at least one because so far, and I know I said it to you, and you're like, oh no, they're not doing that. But I feel like a lot of teams are almost scared of Switzer, and they haven't even given him the chance to run the ball back. Like,
they know how dangerous he is, I agree with you. They definitely try to get the ball out of bounds, depending on where it is. But again, you did see him get a couple run backs last night. Again, what about kickoffs? Almost every kickoff gets out of the damn stadium. So now I'm talking about punts. That's when you best chance to see Switzer break it. He will play 5 or 6 offensive plays at, probably more or less a game. He's getting more every game. As you saw last night, he went to the running back spot 2 or 3 times. They only got to run the ball once to him out of the running back spot when they actually got, the play off. There was a penalty, another one that didn't go to him. But in the end, guys, Switzer's going to be a gadget player. He's going to be used at times. I think he'll eventually, I don't think he's going to be used like Tyreek Hill is because he's a little bit bigger, different kind of player, I would say. He has more skill, let's say, as a running back. But Switzer will get killed back there as a running back. But as a third down scat back / slot receiver, little guy, I think he could do a lot of damage on a mismatch with a linebacker. And I think that's when you pass the ball to him out of the backfield. That's a big help. Or some kind of screen or some kind of like a a quick bubble screen for him if he's playing receiver, or out of the backfield a screen and bring the lineman out to block like they did for Zeke. I think you can use him in a million different ways. You can use Switzer, and I think that on offense, you're probably not going to see crazy stuff going on. You'll see some plays with him once in a while, maybe one or two really awesome plays this year on offense from him. But he's going to make his noise on the return game, mainly the punt returns. I think that's where you're going to see the most damage. And I do see one touchdown, maybe two, maybe three. His game hasn't come yet, and you just got to let it come to him, guys.
Yeah,
it's going to come.
Maybe it will come against this Rams team. I honestly,
it could be any week, but I think it'll happen. It'll happen this year.
So other than
on the returns.
Yes, absolutely. So other than that, guys, I think we are going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here. We will definitely have more Cowboy news for you tomorrow when we find out a little more about our players, updates on injuries, how practice is going, and start really breaking down of course, our LA Rams.
Yeah, and I also
the LA Rams.
the LA Rams, Los Angeles Rams. No, guys, I do want to say also that tomorrow I'm going to try to get the compilation video done. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because it is a short week for myself too. So it might come out Thursday. I'm going to put that one out. I'll do my picks on Thursday as well for the Thursday night game and for the whole week for week 4. I'll do my picks that night. Tomorrow we'll try to finish up long shot, guys, for the fans out there that like to see my daughter, Little J, doing her long shot Madden game. We're on the last 15%. We're at the draft, so it's at the end. We'll see if Devin Wade gets drafted tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to try to do that tomorrow, do the other video by Thursday, and of course the picks and more updates every day, guys. But Thursday we'll do the picks. Updates every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the game Sunday, guys. So Friday we'll do my try to see if maybe we'll do something. I'm still going to think about what we'll do for Friday, but Saturday we're going to do the Madden game, the game review, where we review the game with the Rams. We're going to go in-depth on Saturday night on that. And, of course, Sunday is the game day live stream, guys, right here. Early game, so 1 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings, man. Yes. We're going to be here live stream. So,
and Hollyway, honestly, enjoy every single second of the Eagles being ranked in power rankings, highest in the NFC.
They could be ranked number 1 for all I care. I don't care about the power rankings.
Guys, it's week 3, so like I said, enjoy it while you can. I will give you guys major props, though. That field goal was crazy.
Yeah, Wentz now owes the kicker $31,000.
Really?
Yeah, because on the sideline they had him mic'd up. I'm sure Hollyway's seen this, and they mic'd up Wentz, and they ended up. He was saying on the side, he goes, "If he makes this, he's a hero. He's a hero. He's a legend." And then they cut again, and he said it 3 times though that Wentz said that if he hits his field goal, I'm gonna give him my base salary. I'm gonna give him my game salary, my game check, my game check. Yeah, he said game check. Well, his base salary is $31,700.71 or something.
But you know what?
And you know what? He can afford it.
Yeah, not only can you afford it, but that kicker definitely earned it, guys. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys,
go Cowboys! Love it, baby. Forever.
All right.
2-1.
Yeah. Good night, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Go Cowboys.